Hi guys, welcome. Today is Deathnote. I am so sorry you guys for that I did not do this on Tuesday. I underestimated, like I said in the post, I really did underestimate how long my classes would take. Considering it was the first day, I was like, okay, it shouldn't take too long like getting doing whatever is going on with the classes and everything like that. Um and then I I did my class. I had one in the morning, one um towards the around middle of the day till a, I would say 4 o'clock. And so I was like, ugh. And then problem became is I had an extra problem because because I one was I had a lot of stuff I had to do in between those classes. I had to eat. I had to prep 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 everything, clean everything, because my parents um, were out going and testing some equipment that we had, because we had just fixed some equipment, so they were testing it. And so they were going to be out for a while. Oh, hey Darius, what's up? Um, but yeah, but basically they were testing equipment, so they were gonna be out of the house. So I had to take care of my younger sibling. So I literally got all my home, got I didn't really have homework per se. I literally had I had to get my textbook. I had to get the software. I had to prep all the softwares. I'm good. Just telling everyone why Tuesday I did not post for I wasn't able to post due to my classes just starting at college. And I just the day got all scrambled and got away from me basically, because I had to take care of my younger siblings. I had to get my textbooks. I had to get I had to go and get my the softwares that were associated with the class, because I have one teacher. This teacher, I don't. I'm not saying that I hate her. I have it. I have not had her long enough to hold a grudge or anything like that. But um, she is requiring for this class to for us to buy movie magic budgeting and movie magic scheduling. These are two softwares. And for those, what I'm not mad about is us requiring us to like have some kind of software like that, because I understand, you want us to have a good software so that way we can get our homework done efficiently. Um but to I'm more chill with a teacher that is upfront about the fact that it's expensive, right? I gel more with a teacher that is like, "Oh yeah, I do know. I I I do understand these programs are very expensive and there's nothing I can do to make them cheaper, but um but these are the ones that we require, and I will try my best to provide, resources and try to do stuff like that." I understand teachers like that, because I had that for a Spanish teacher. She just, there was nothing she could do that short of trying and get us a discount on the software that we had to use. But for this teacher, for this film class, she was just like, when we asked her, how much is the software going to be? She's like, "Oh, you can find it out on the website," which is always code for teachers to be like, "Oh, um, oh, you it is way more than you can afford, but I don't want to say it. Which kind of is annoying. But sadly, you know, that's just how it is. I'm going to have to pay like $250 in software again, just so that way I can take a class. Unfortunately. But yeah, basically Tuesday got away from me, and so I had to do the software. I had to go and feed my siblings and get them all ready, and then by the end of the day, I was also having a flare up with my face, because right now my skin problems have migrated to my face, so my eyes are burning and feel like every single time my eyes tear up, I'm just tearing acid. So not fun. But yeah, so I couldn't stream. I didn't feel good. I was dead tired, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go and move it to Thursday, because Thursday I should have more time. So yeah, that's why we're doing it today. You know, I really hope that I the plan is I'm gonna do this stream, and then I'm gonna do the Saviorless stream. So don't worry, you are getting Saviorless today. It's just gonna happen later in the day. So that's gonna happen. So but yeah, so for those so that's one of the announcements. What's the other? I had another one, but I'm trying to think it off the top of my head. Let's see. It'll come to me. I'll probably say it later. But yeah. Without further ado, let me go and put the code for the for Deathnote in the chat, so that way you guys are able to access it. So let me click copy. And then paste. Paste. Oh yeah, now I remember what the other announcement was. I have finally was able to figure out Streamlabs to then allow for me to go and put an alert for this YouTube one. So now YouTube should get an alert when you guys follow while the stream's going on. So I hope you guys I really am excited about that, because I'm just like, oh yay, we'll have you guys go and see, and then it has a cute little graphic. I'm just like, yes, I love the cute little graphic. 8-bit fun. So let me get into this, because we are stalling. For those of you who need to know the page, where's my bookmark? There's my bookmark. Okay. Let me get this. So, for those of you who didn't watch last stream, we killed the guy. So, now the guy is dead. The guy is dead. So, now we are now going and having Light, face the ramifications for him going in, enacting this plot to kill this dude. Because there are people who, didn't want him to die. There was people that, are gonna be like, oh, I'm happy he's gone. But then there's gonna be people who are gonna be like, I didn't want him to go like that. I wanted him to, get expelled or something like that, but not die. There's going to be people like that. Because even though he might not feel, any emotions about it, he in a way, he's like kind of has like feels like satisfied because you know, he got the result he wanted. It's not excitement though. It's not excitement or joy that he's feeling, right? But now the other thing that he's also going to be experiencing is like, okay, there's a possibility of me facing the consequences of my actions. And I don't know if I am ready to do that. But then him going through the mental gymnastics to then be like, well, I have to be the only one to be able to do this. Of course, because he has to do that. He is someone that is a little interesting. We'll just leave it at interesting. But yeah, let me see. Okay, traffic light, yeah. Reflection in the flames of Light's eyes, and he smirks. Okay, so that's where we left off for the most part of him. Basically, I'm just gonna read it so that way you guys, because I didn't read it last time, and I think I need to read it for you guys so that way you can see what we wrote last time. Let's see. Light walks over to the cash register counter. He sets his items down on the counter. Light, mind if I leave these here for a sec? The cashier. Sure. Light walks over to the manga aisle, adjacent to the register counter. Light stops in front of the Naruto manga section. He bends down and grabs an issue and flips open the pages. He stands up. He reaches with his other hand in the bag and grabs the Deathnote. He puts the Deathnote in the issue of Naruto and opens it and grabs his red pen from his pocket and writes different variations of Sudu Shibitaku traffic accident. Light closes the issue, walks to the flower section, bends down. He takes out the Deathnote from the issue and puts it in his bag with the pen clipped to it. He grabs the flowers and stands up to smell them. He walks to the register counter. Light, I think this is everything. Cashier, may I have your phone number for the order? Light, sure. He says a series of numbers. Cashier types on the keyboard of the computer and scans the issue and the flowers and then puts Light's items in the bag. Cashier, thank you for earlier. He's a pain. Light, it's fine. Happy I was here to help. Cashier smiles and hands Light the bag. Light grabs the bag and swipes his Suica card. Light walks to the door and opens it. Exterior city evening. The sun is setting over the city. Light is walking out the open door. He checks his watch. The clock hand moves and ticks. Light looks at the street. The traffic light changes from red to green. A traffic I put traffic, but I meant truck. Jeez. This is why you have to reread your stuff once in a while. A truck driver looking very tired, is slouched over the wheel. The driver's I forgot to put eyes are heavy. Sudo quickly puts his stuff in the seat compartment. Sudo closes it. He sits on the motorcycle and revs it and speeds down the street. The isekai truck side sweeps the motorcycle. The motorcycle flips down the sidewalk, bursting into flames, while Sudo's body lays in the street, being run over by passing cars. There's a reflection of flames in Light's eyes, and he smirks. Okay, so that is a recap of what we did last time. So let's go and see what we have to read this time. Let me see if I can find a page number, because that's the frustrating thing about this story and this anime. The author really hated page numbers for some reason, because you don't get a single, like, page number wise, you only get them every once in a while. Okay, that's 46. That's got to be 45. That's 44. 43, 42, 41, 40, 39. Okay, so we are on page 39. So let me type that also in the chat so that way you guys know. Page 39. There. And hi, engineer. What's up? You having a good day? Nothing much. That's fine. You know, people tend to put me on while they're writing or while they're hanging out. I just wrote the most spiteful character I have ever wrote. Oh, no way. Oh, those are always fun. They're just the most chaotic characters, aren't they? They're always fun to just, like, take out all your anger issues into it. It's fun to do spiteful characters for the most part. Or, in my case, sometimes I like to do methodical characters where you're just, like, over-analyzing everything. So, sometimes you just want to overanalyze and just go into the nitty-gritty of the details. Sometimes. But, yeah. Alright. Let me see. So, basically it's a blind dragon who hates so much that he is alive for over 10,000 years. Most dragons only live to 100 because he has such a burning hatred that he refuses to die. Yep. He reminds me of some old ladies that I know, unfortunately, that I meet in retail. They've just, you know, they're old as dust, yet they, you know, and, like, this, it's never someone sweet that, like, lives long for, sadly, that I interact with. The older ones, I just, like, they're so angry, and I don't know why. So that, I agree with that characterization of that dragon. That works. Is he just hateful of the world in general, or is it, like, he's, like, hateful towards one person? Or, like, a, like, organization or, like, people in general, you know, because, like, it could be a Danny Mata situation where it's, like, he lives off the spite of, like, just trying to spite Alex Brightman. Want to know why he hates others for seeing, and he acts on that. He blinds other dragons for the sheer joy he feels in retribution. I can see that. I would say that's a real Karen. I would tell you that. Oh, man. I wouldn't be surprised if you named it Carry On or something like that. Just to be joke. Just to lean into the joke. Yeah. Let me see. So we're on page 39. So on page 39, it says, this proves it. The Death Note really works. Taku, I'm out of here, man. That idiot. What were you thinking? You're right. What an accident. Oof. Worst part is his mother started all because he described the world to him when he was a kid, and he was so mad that he couldn't see such a beautiful thing that he decided no one should see it. So it's kind of like the opposite motivation of like what is it? Birdhouse? Um if you ever watch that movie, the motivation of all the people in Birdhouse that are like the insane people is that they want everyone to see what's how beautiful the creature that they are able to look at, but they also know that if those people see this creature, there's a 90% chance they might die. So like it's like the opposite of Birdhouse for the most part, from what I'm understanding. So yeah. So evidence, no. I was actually doing a service killing him. But what about the second guy? That wasn't worth the death penalty. What he did. No. This is what I've been thinking all along. The world is a rotten mess. I really needs to be cleaned up. Someone else, could they do it? Nobody would have the guts, but I do. I could do it. Not just that, I'm the only one who could do it, so I'll do it. I'm using the Death Note to change the world. Okay, so I feel like for this one, he smirks, but then we need to have. So, what breaks him out of his like thought process of like, oh, I got him, right? Is that he sees that someone misses him. Oh, hi, Gio. I'm Chrissy the Abyss. I do writing streams for a adaptation of Death Note. If you know that manga, I like I do a fan adaptation here. I also do gaming streams. I'll be doing that later today. But yeah, I do stuff like this. Right now we're working on trying to make the main character just killed somebody, and we need to make him feel bad about it. But here's the problem: the dude is not a normal person. He's a psychopath, and I'm not saying that as like an exaggeration. He is clinically a psychopath, so he doesn't quite have emotion. So I have to figure out, how do I convey that killing is a bad idea to the main character, but have him then become more resolute and then decide to continue killing people. And also, here's another problem. I also have to make sure that I don't have him talking about his ideas to himself. because that kind of looks crazy on a television screen, and he's not supposed to be crazy yet. He's just supposed to be like, just a normal, a psychopath, someone that's born without emotion. It that's what happens. You know, so we have have to get to the meat of of how do we go and convey that he had this kind of moment of hesitation, this moment of oh, I shouldn't be doing this, but then conveying that he does. So that's the thing. So I'm feeling I need to have him have the guy's biker buddies got to come out because there's other bikes there. And then after his friends, the biker buddies, obviously come out. Hit, basically, they're basically like, oh no, like, Sudo, why did you, they're rushing towards their friend's corpse, and just grieving their loss, obviously, because even though they're not great people, even people that, are not the greatest people, they still have people that mourn them. They're, and that's what we gotta highlight for the audience, for the audience, but also for Light, and for him to just be see all versions of people who would mourn this person. So that would be his friends that we would meet. That would be people. The person that he was bullying would not exactly mourn, but be feeling like he wished this upon him, and so he feels guilty because he's like, I feel like I wish this upon him, but I didn't want him to die. I wanted him to get expelled and leave the school, and then never leave to leave me alone. But he didn't imagine that this could ever happen. Whereas so now to have that perspective, the main character would then probably feel weird about killing him, and then we have to have a moment where he gets validated, right? He goes probably back to the cashier. I want him to go back to the cashier. I want her to be like I'm just glad I don't have to deal with him anymore. Right? She's been he's been messing with her for a long time. You can hear that when she says he's a pain. So we know she's been doing this for a while. But I feel like she wouldn't mourn him, because to her, he's just a stranger that harasses her. So for him to be gone, she would probably be a little happier that he is. In a sense, right? And I think that could be just enough validation for him to do the mental gymnastics to be like, yeah, even though what I'm doing is technically bad, as long as I keep it to criminals, for the most part, most people are gonna be better off without them. Society will move on, and while they may be sad in the moment, they would then be grateful right? That's his mindset, the mental gymnastics that he's doing. Um, you died for a sec. Yeah, unfortunately, the thing is that my stream, like, OBS does not exactly like streaming sometimes. It's just like, nope, I just don't want to do it. Especially sometimes in the day, and there's no control over it. I have no control over it. The best I can do is just keep going, keep talking, going and trying to like do the thing. It yes in a sense because it's not a fanfic in a sense that like I am like completely doing like a whole new story because I'm not really. What I am doing is an adaptation. Adaptation work is basically you go and you take a story, but you write it in a different medium. So I'm writing in a script format. And script writing has its own rules that are separate from manga writing and separate from book writing. Like, for example, he cannot talk to the screen. People do not like voiceovers. You have to keep voiceovers to a very minimum degree. On top of that, too many time jumps will mess up most stories. So it's you have to keep those to a minimum. Um on top on top of that, you also some things are not very visual in a sense. So like you can't I can't have like him go and talk like be like thinking. I can't have him sitting there thinking the entire time because you don't see thinking, right? Unless you're doing like a beautiful mind situation where like it's like, oh, the visuals and all that stuff. Like that for this it's like I'm since we have Ryuk as I for example, for me, Ryuk is a tool so that way we can get information out of light that we wouldn't normally get out of light. You know, Light is able to talk to Ryuk and give his ideas, give how he feels about things, and kind of like go into detail. Um, for the most part. Whereas if I were to go and have him go through the scenes without thinking and doing it purely only visually, you then would lose a lot of the fun and the context and the humor. So that's why you kind of have to like tweak the scenes a bit because they have to be you have to make them visually you have to write visually, and so you have to find ways to convey information. And also an added thing that I'm doing is I'm doing series writing. When you do series writing, anything you do to the script, it can become a plot hole if you're not planning it through thoroughly. So if there's security cameras, I have to make sure that I am keeping track of what is Light thinking, what is the security cams capturing, does he look guilty in the scene, how does he look innocent, how does everything what are competing factors in this scene that are going on, and how could this come back to be referenced later. These are all things I have to keep in mind for when it's a script writing. Whereas with story writing, you have the shorthand of writing, explaining, and thinking, because you can't write explanation in script. So let me go into here and okay, so let me write the structure right now. Structure is Okay, I got an idea. So I think the lead-in should be is Ryuk basically basically is like, oh, so you got the first kill. Um, you got the first kill, and then you just continued going on and killing people. And he's like, I had a bit of a situation, right? He could say something like that. Okay, so let me go into scene heading, and we're gonna go back to interior, lights, bedroom. Ooh, I forgot. I need to go back up because now I'm gonna be cutting back to Ryuk and light, and I need to know what time of day is it. Okay, it's day, so it's midday. Okay. Interior, lights, bedroom, day, but hyphen 5 days later. Let me see. Oh, my goal here is just to just write the series. Just write the series, try to write all 2 seasons of it. For fun. You know, try to write the whole 2 seasons, see where it goes, um and just have a fun time. Um and the software I'm using is actually Celtics. If you're referring to the script writing software. The script writing software Celtics. I also use Writer's Duet. These are free programs, so you're able to actually download them whenever. And the one I personally use, but unfortunately I can't stream it because for some reason the software hates to get streamed and it does not show on any screen, is literally Final Draft, which is the one used by professionals. Oh, thank you. But yeah, it's a wonderful Celtics is wonderful. Writer's Duet. The only caveat about the two is that you can only do one writing draft at a time. So like for me, in my case, since I'm only doing a series, like I'm doing a series and I'm not going to be like changing scripts all the time. Having it on one on Celtics is fine because it's like, oh, it's gonna be, I'm gonna be continuing to do the same exact thing the whole time, the whole way through. Whereas, like, if I were to go and try to do it on another, it would cause some problems. I don't really read. The reason why is that it can sometimes get copyrighted if you read some materials because of um the some authors have come out of the woodwork to then strike people who are doing book versions of their stuff. So this stream is kind of existed in like a loophole, a legal loophole, because I can't show you the manga. And I can read bits and pieces of the manga, but I can write a fan fiction of the manga, and as long as you're watching me write the fan fiction adaptation, we're fine and dandy, because it's fair use. So that's the idea. You get away with it because I'm technically not showing any of the material. I'm not showing. I'm doing my rendition of it, so it has been altered to enough of a degree that it would be considered fair use, and I get to continue doing this, and if people like it, they'll reach out to the creator, and maybe I might be able to make this into a real thing. So who knows? Vsauce, but what if the fanfiction? It's fanfiction. Bam. Oh, that's funny. Nah, personally, I don't knock people who do fan fiction. Um, I'm some I'm someone that is a firm believer that fan fiction is a good tool for under writing good characters. Because you're using the characters as archetypes. So everyone knows how they're gonna act and behave and stuff like that, and you're using them as character shorthand so that way you can get your point across, but still go and still get your story across, but you don't have to do all the work to create something from scratch. But yeah, so I don't knock people who do fan fiction. I think it's very important, a very important step in the process to make things. Um, I think it's really hard to become a good writer if you don't do fan fiction in some sort of degree, because it allows you to work on the things that you're not strong at. Um, and a lot of authors that are out there that are professional authors wrote their fan fictions and then changed the names, and they're out in the ether. Um, if you're someone that's familiar with Cassandra Clare, you know what um you can find out what that fan fiction was. Um, because if you don't know, Cassandra Clare is the writer of the Mortal Instruments books, and you could figure out what her fan fiction was if you look very closely, very, very closely. um, and obviously everybody knows about 50 Shades of Grey. No one has to question that one. Um, no one has to question it. But yeah, those are like many famous authors started in fan fiction. So that's why I say, if you're someone that is apprehensive to starting, please start. Take your fun, have your fun with it, and then just do it. So, yeah. So let's get this started. Okay. Um, interior lights bedroom. Um, day 5 days later. Ryuk is sitting on Light's bed. Light's bed is sitting on Light's bed. Light is sitting at his desk. Sitting at his desk. Ryuk. So you got your so you confirm it was confirmed. So you confirmed it, and then And then so you confirmed it. You confirmed it. With him. So you confirmed it with him. With Sudo. Sudo. Why? Should he ask about the why he chose traffic accident? Or I think I'm gonna save that question for later. I feel like he's gonna ask, because he's gonna ask the line, like, why are you using heart attacks instead of writing the cause of death. So you confirmed it with Sudo. With Sudo. What should he say next? Okay, let's see. It's either Light has to say something here, because there has to be like a bit of a conversation. Just a bit of conversation here. So you confirmed it with Sudo. Confirmed it with Sudo. With Sudo. Okay, oh, I got it. Okay, so Sudo's friends. Rush run down the sidewalk and stand next to the corpse. Stand next to the corpse. Some of the friends are crying. Actually, no. It would be more messed up, right? Is if he heard the crying first. Like, we hear someone crying. Some people crying and yelling. Light looks at Sudu's friends standing on the sidewalk. I have to do that. The sidewalk. Walk next to the corpse. Light looks confused. So you confirmed it with Sudu, but but you confirmed it with Sudu, but why were you apprehensive? Why were you confused? Why were you confused? There's always someone to mourn someone else. There's always someone to mourn. There's always someone to mourn. There's always someone to mourn. Light. Yeah. But I didn't think. Yeah. But I never expected someone to cry over him. Expected to see so many I didn't expect to see so many wish he was not wish he didn't die. I never expected to see so many cry over him. special, especially, what was his name? Man, this is the this is why it's always good to have it on a document, because then you can always go back. Rio. That was the name of the kid that he bullied. Especially Rio. Especially Rio. And then we're going to go into a scene with Rio. Okay. So, let's see. So, now we've gone there. We're now on 20. We're so close to the ending. Oh my gosh. For those of you who are wondering when when this episode is going to be, where my cutoff point for the episode is, my cutoff point for this episode in particular is going to be about 22 or 24. 22, 24. Because for those of you who don't know, for most anime, they only have 24 minutes of story. And some of you are probably thinking 24 minutes. That seems less. Sometimes 22 for some of them if they're a little more tight. Basically, the reason why it feels more fleshed out is because title sequence usually takes about 2 minutes, and end credit sequence usually takes about a good, like, I would say a good 3 to 4 minutes, because they tend to play the full song when it's like the end song. Sometimes they'll play the full song. They'll play 2 full songs, the beginning song and the end song. But usually the first song's usually 2 minutes and they cut it off. Whereas the end song, you get like the full song. Or if the song is longer than about 3-4 minutes, you don't get the full song, but you get like a cut down version. And then so that accounts for the extra 6 minutes. If they have a recap, which usually the 22s or stuff like that, those ones will have a 2-minute recap to catch the audience up to what did they watch last time. So that's the explaining of the timing of all of this. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay. So, let me see. Interior, cram school evening. Oh, and I forgot to do the thing that I wanted to do with the sky. The sun sets. The sun sets behind the destruction. The destruction. Okay. Destruction. Yes. There. Okay. Okay, evening, because it will be another evening. Alright, and then students are lined up, are sitting at their desks, Ryu is hunched over, trying hunched over and looks upset. Looks angry. Looks sad and angry. Looks sad and angry. Light is looking at Rio. Teacher. I'm class dismissed. Class dismissed. Class dismissed. Class dismissed. See you guys. Class dismissed. You may pick up your you may pick up your assignment on my desk. From my desk. All right. And then let's change it. We're going to change this. Yay. So far. Okay, let me see. How is the chat going? But yeah. I think I'm going to take a tiny little break and drink water and like not focus on this for 2 secs. Let me, because I need to sit up, and also my mouth is that type of dry where you're like, where you've talked for a little more than you would like. So let me get my water. Um, but yeah. Um, so I my dad recently watched this weird film. I'm surprised this film is on Disney Plus. By the way, I'm gonna tell you. I don't know how to say the name without it getting demonetized. Like, I'm not kidding. Cause my dad, what was happening, right? Is we're watching TV, and Miami Vice comes up, right? And my dad's like, "You haven't watched like Miami Vice?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I haven't watched Miami. I haven't really watched Miami Vice other than watching some clips of it that show up on TikTok once in a while, right? Cuz like I'm too young for Miami Vice. I wouldn't have watched it." And he's like, "But you had to watch this movie." Um in this movie, I'm the name I'm going to say is Freddy got, and then think of your digits on your hand, right? So yeah, basically, so he was like, "Oh, you haven't watched that movie?" And I'm like, "No." So he had me watch that movie. And I have to say, was the most unhinged and deranged movie I had ever seen. Not joking. Not kidding. From the beginning to the end, you're thinking, is this guy insane in real life? And also, too, am I supposed to be watching this? Like, should I be watching this? Is this a situation that I'm like, I'm not supposed to watch and laugh about it, but also be like, because it's like, you're watching in horror. You're horror by the fact that you're horrified by the fact that your eyeballs can't look away. It's that insane. And so you're at the edge of your seat being like, what the hell's gonna happen next? Like, what am I going to what is this? What am I watching? Why am I watching this? Many questions. I was so confused by this movie. And I was also like, how is this on Disney Plus? How is this movie? This movie on Disney Plus and Hulu. Like, Freddy got hand digits. Hand digited. That's the name of the movie, by the way. Not the way I said hand digited. You can figure out what that word was supposed to be. I'm not going to get demonetized today. But basically, the plot of the film, right? It does have a plot. That's the weird part. It somehow has a plot, and the plot somehow works. I don't know why it works, but it somehow does. Basically, a family wants to send their kid off to do his dream job of being an animator, in California. Guy, the reason why they want to send this kid away is this guy is gotta be mentally insane. Because of the stuff he does. I'm like, why? And then, guy goes to California, basically somehow convinces the CEO to give him another chance and be like, hey, I'm saying this in a tame way, but imagine this dude like screaming it in this guy's face and like also acting chaotically, and also the guy is holding a weapon while he's saying this towards himself. So yeah, so he's like, is there a chance that you will give my drawings a shot, my doodles a shot? And the CEO's like, okay, this doesn't have a story. The minute it has a story, and I can entertain it, right? So he says this so that he can like get the guy to go away. So the CEO drives off. Guy goes back home to Minnesota. And I'm leaving out a lot of details because I don't want to get demonetized. I'm dead serious. It's that crazy. Goes home to his parents. His parents are not happy he's home. Are very not happy. Dad's angrily chaotic, so you could tell where the chaos came from. And so what happens is that the guy literally how can I say this as tame as possible? So he builds a half pike with his friend because he's mad at his dad. His friend skates on the half pike, breaks his kneecap. He proceeds to lick his friend's kneecap, that is the bone that was protruding out of his leg from the kneecap. He decides to lick it just for funsies. So his friend goes to the hospital. He meets an equally deranged woman. And this woman, for funsies, likes to flip creamer cups. And she is like as equally deranged, and he also lies to her that he's a stock bro. She is fine with his crazy and is like asks him out on a date. Okay. So she wheels her wheelchair away. He goes into the room. Now, what happens in this room is that he's being loud with his friend. He's being loud. There's a pregnant lady, and then these two, you gotta assume they're foreigners, cause like, they don't speak in the whole thing, but they somehow like have like tribal tambourines. You'll understand the tambourines in a sec. But basically, the pregnant lady's getting mad because he's being super loud and chaotic, like always. Lady is going into labor. So basically, the lady goes into labor. The crazy, insane guy decides, I will be the doctor now. 'Cause, I guess, goes and delivers the baby, but then proceeds to gnaw the umbilical cord off with his teeth. Swings the baby around because the baby's also not crying. So he's like, oh, I have a way to go and get the blood out of his lungs. Goes and swings the baby around. While this is happening, tambourine ladies are just having a fun time banging on their tambourines and singing for some weird reason. Well, the room's getting coated with blood. So that's happening. Lady somehow, like, I don't know, it's just like, just glad that it's over with. And he gives her the baby. And then obviously he gets escorted out by security. So that happens. Okay, how can I say the next part without it getting demonetized? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. So he goes and visits her apartment. And she shows her crazy. And she asks him to politely slap her legs with a bamboo cane. The legs that she doesn't feel. So, and she's enjoying it way too much. Way too much. I'm like, okay. Um, and so they have their time. Um, what else can I say she okay. So then like he goes back home and he like he does weird stuff like scuba dives inside of his bath, his shower, and like the guy like goes and has a hairnet with two slabs of meat clipped to it, and then is playing a keyboard with sausages tied on a pulley system and tied to his fingers. And he decides to play a song that I'm like, okay, someone came up with, had a meeting and created that, called Daddy Got Some Sausage. Hilariously. So yeah, that's, we're not even getting into the details of, I'm not even going, I'm literally leaving out like 80% of what happens in that film. I'm not kidding because I can't say it. Reminder on Disney Plus. So let's see what. How could I say the next part family friendly? So so he goes on a date. Oh, he he lies to his dad that he's got a job because he's wearing a suit. His dad notices he's wearing a suit. He's also wearing the suit backwards, like intentionally backwards. Everything he's wearing on the suit is backwards. And he said, and he's like, I'm the backwards businessman. I'm a backwards businessman. I'm like, what the hell am I watching? And so the dad's happy that he got a job, even though the kid's lying to him, and gives him $100, and he's like, go, have a day. So the guy goes on a date with his girlfriend. Um, and the girlfriend and him, um, he has these like papers strewn out on the table because he's also lying to her that he has a stock bro. Um, and you could tell by the papers they mean nothing. There's nothing of like no information that makes any sense on the papers. And then he has a landline that he presses a tape recorder to play the ringing sound of a phone, answers the phone to this landline, and proceeds to have an unhinged conversation with himself about a guy that he is firing because he wired the money to the wrong location. And he's having this conversation loud as hell. Everyone in the restaurant can hear it. Obviously, hijinks ensue. The dad is at the restaurant eating dinner with his wife, and the dad eventually finds out that his kid's there. 2, he finds out that his kid's lying about his job. And 3, he tries to straighten out the kid. Kid goes berserk. Basically, then goes they go and have a fight. They fight. He throws green beans at the dad, which was a choice. Then proceeds to jump on the bar, grab a violin, plays. He doesn't even play music with the violin. He just plays screechy noises. And then proceeds to smash this violin to pieces. The dad's not any better. He's breaking the whole like band set, trying to get closer to the kid. And then the kid soda guns the dude to the face, with soda guns, spraying soda water everywhere. So that interesting. on top of that, not only that's going on, but he is also trying to get take security trying to take them down off of the bar, and it's not going well. It's clearly not going well. Um and like, so he goes in, gets taken out of the restaurant and all that stuff. Obviously, they are like, okay, we got to take this kid to a shrink now. But unfortunately, I guess the shrink was a little as crazy as him, because basically they go and they start talking about the incident and how they have anger issues towards each other, and because he doesn't feel like his dad is, you know, accepting of him. Um and so he goes and like literally tells this shrink. Now I'm going to preface this. His brother Freddy is 26. His brother Freddy is 26. He is a banker and he lives alone. I'm going to preface this, right? So, he goes and he tells the shrink that his dad diddles his brother. And then the shrink proceeds to believe this crazy kid. This crazy dude. And then she then shows up at the dude's house, at Freddy's house. And with DCF. Like, cuz he also made it seem like Freddy was like a little kid. And I don't know if it's that she didn't want to admit she was wrong, or if she is just crazy too. But she basically is like, oh, do you know where little Freddy is? Hey, Ken Bush, how you doing? I'm doing good. Just explaining this weird movie my dad decided to show me. I'm just like, why did you show me this? And also, I have so many questions about the creator of that movie. Cuz I'm like, how did you come up with it? And also, should I be concerned? Yes. Yeah, he did. So yeah, he did show me a weird movie again. If you need to know, it is a movie that you could watch on Disney Plus and Hulu, and I'm shocked by this. And this movie is called Freddy Got, and I'm gonna say hand digited, so I could stay. It's a movie on Disney, and I'm gonna call it Freddy Got Digited. Just so that way I don't get demonetized. So, and I'm only describing. Yeah, like, basically, like, this movie, I'm trying to describe it, but the thing is, most 80% of the movie, I can't say on stream, or this stream gets taken down, because it's that bad. Like, there's a scene where the dude is driving back to Minnesota, and the CEO guy basically tells him, oh, you gotta get inside the animals. First of all, weird choice of words. Because he has an animal animation. So he's like, oh, get in the mind of the characters, what he means. But like, the guy is saying this to an insane person, so you can figure out what happens. Guy finds a deer on the side on the road, decides to gut the deer and wear its carcass and do deer stuff. and then is shocked when he gets hit by a truck. And is like, I didn't think that would happen. And you're like, what the hell? So yeah, where was I in the plot of this? Yeah, this movie, it, like, it is, it ha- it has a, it literally has a scene, like I said earlier, where he has a hairnet that has two slabs of meat that are clipped to him, clipped to this hairnet. And he's playing a keyboard, and he has a sausages tied to a pulley system that is tied to his fingers, and he's singing to his dad, "Daddy got some sausage. Daddy got some sausage." Like, I'm not gonna lie, your comment is correct, that you're getting brain damage just for me explaining it. Imagine it watching it. Yes! Daddy got some sausage is the name of the song. This movie, it's so unhinged. I'm not gonna lie. You may find it on your own discretion, but like, it's not meant for most people, I don't think. I have more questions about the guy that created it, because the guy that is playing the character is the guy that made the movie. Not kidding. So you're like, he not only came up with the idea, but then decided to star in it as the main character. No, he just was reminiscing of old times. He was reminiscing about Miami Vice, and just that was the movie that came to his mind. But yeah, basically, you know, uh, if you want to watch it, you'll definitely have an experience. I just don't know if it's the experience anyone can handle. Miami Vice has a different vibe from that. Yes, but also, like, the whole reason why is he was, like, talking about nostalgia and stuff that I haven't watched, because I have, because I am, like, I did not grow up with stuff like that. So, because I didn't grow up with, Miami Vice or anything like that, like, he's astonished that I've never watched them. Like, I've never, watched Miami Vice or watched this movie. Um, I, I swear, like, I swear to you, like, I, like, we both were like, what the hell are we watching? Like, there's a scene towards the end of the film where this is a plot scene. The guy becomes a millionaire. End of the film, he becomes a millionaire. And so he becomes a millionaire, and he decides to use $100,000 of his money to buy jewels. The rest of it he puts in an account, and then he goes on a helicopter to present these jewels to his girlfriend, which somehow does a weird engagement. I'm not gonna say. He doesn't say, "Will you marry me?" And she doesn't say anything close. They just say a weird. I don't know. Like, this movie came out 2001. So, it has a lot of weird energy. And obviously the classic 2000 soundtracks from every movie. But yeah, so she basically, like, she wanted, she basically goes down to saying that she wanted, it's an engagement, but her wording, I'm not gonna say the exact wording, but she says it in a way where she's like, I want to milk you forever. And not in the money way. So that happens. And so then after he does that, he then uses the rest of the money to then renovate, quote unquote, renovate the house. And when he goes, he basically, what he does is he puts this house on a beam on a Mad Max truck and ships it to Pakistan. He also trank darks his dad, so his dad's in the house. And wakes up to being on this house that's on a beam, that's on the back of a truck bed. And his son is just crazily driving this Mad Maxian vehicle. Yes. Obviously, vehicle crashes, the house falls off the beam. They get, they fight. They end up at a tent. The son then takes an elephant's third leg, quote unquote third leg, and fire hose squirts in the dad's face. Yes. And then the dad, obviously, dad gets sprayed to the ground. The kid gets kicked in the face by the elephant. And then the dad proceeds to, after that, all that happens, to say, I'm proud of you. They then, after that, they get kidnapped, and it causes a hostage crisis, because the movie's not done yet. Causes a hostage crisis, which they're enjoying being hostages. They actually bond over it, and they actually do drinking games with their captors. So that happens. They get extradited back to the US, and his girlfriend's very happy that he's back. And he comes back a legend because his show has become popular because more popular than ever because of what was happening with the hostage crisis of him being over there. That's how the movie ends. And I'm leaving out details. I'm leaving out a lot of details. But I tell you, me leaving them out makes the movie less crazy than what it was. Like, that one's a just, you're in for a ride. It's not a joyride, but it's definitely a ride. Yeah, I think we're all glad I'm leaving details out. Yes, and like I said, I did not go into the details of some of the plot lines either. Gojo's better. But yeah, also there is a like thing that happens where there's this kid that every time you see him on screen, he just gets violently maimed every single time you see him on screen. So every time you see his stupid little face, you're just like, yep, something's gonna happen again. He's gonna get brutally maimed again. From getting hit by a car, from getting a baseball to the face, getting chopped by propeller blades. The kid never gets any rest. But yeah, that movie happened. I don't know if the dude made money. I know he got his wife from that movie. That's the awkward part. The weird fact about it is that the guy that created the movie and plays the main character, his wife, the woman that married him and was dating him while this movie was out, was being made, was Drew Barrymore. Like, I have questions, like, why? What did you see? What did Drew Barrymore see in this dude? Also, they have an end credit sequence where they're just tonguing each other for like 3 minutes straight. Not kidding. So if you want to watch that footage of Drew Barrymore, have at it. But yeah, she did. And the funny thing about it, right? They only had a 1-year marriage. Guess who divorced who? Yes. Yeah. It wasn't Drew Barrymore. It was the dude. And I'm just like, how? What crazy is. Yeah. Longer. I don't know. I didn't look up that detail, but for me, I was like, he divorced her. And my question is, if he's that level of crazy, what was she? That's my question. What made him divorce? Like, this movie gave me so many questions. And I don't have answers. If you want, I will show you. I could put. Oh, actually, it's probably a bad idea. I'm not even gonna do that because I'm like, oh, I could put pictures of it, but then I remember some of those pictures are probably not friendly, or are not definitely not gonna be friendly. So yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Also in the movie, the guy has a weird obsession with horses. I'm gonna let you know that right now. Very weird obsession with horses. Um, so, but yeah, that was the movie of what I had experienced. So, yeah, I'm gonna look into a different anime for me to watch later. Because I'm like, I need a palate cleanser after watching that. In a way, yes, sadly. There's a scene when he's driving to California that he stops at a farm and, milks a horse. A male horse. You may do the calculation in your head of what I mean. Yeah. Yeah, it's as bad as you think it is. By the way, it's as bad as you thought. If you're picturing a very interesting scene, I tell you, it's as what you pictured. But yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that movie was a thing. Um, but yeah, I'm looking into other animes because I just finished Dining in Dungeons. So that anime was fun. I loved it. I hope they have a season 3 because I'm excited about that one. The next anime I'm probably thinking about watching because I'm someone that I like to see what's out there, and get accustomed and not watch weird things that my dad watches, you know? And sadly, this is not the first time he's shown me a weird film and been like, "Let's watch this." As you guys know. But boy. And I'm planning on I'm working on I'm still working on on the website behind the scenes, so I'm like, ugh, doing that. But yeah. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue. We're gonna make Light feel bad, and then after we make Light feel like a terrible person, we are going to go and we're gonna go and click out of the stream and then finish the stream, and then I'll take a break, and then I'll come back for Save Your List. So let's get it going. But yeah. Yeah, it was. But that was. Imagine you only had to hear it. I had to witness this interesting thing. My question is, how has Disney not taken it off of Disney Plus? Is the question. Like, you could actually go on Disney Plus and look up that movie. And it was a movie done by Fox. So, if you're wondering why Deadpool was a certain way, I have a feeling some people were inspired. Yes, it was by 12th Century Fox. So, yeah. 12th. Yes, they did. To get the right to Deadpool, and the Deadpool, they bought Fox. And also inherited this movie along with it. I don't think Disney knew what they were buying. But yeah, you can look it up under the Fox catalog. Okay, class dismissed, and then that, and then let's have the students. Well, Disney is on something with way things are going. Yeah, they are. They're starting because they are starting to listen to people. The problem is that they stopped listening to the fans, and they made their whole brand over bloated. And the problem by making your brand over bloated is that you then lose the quality of what you wanted. They stop listening to the fans of what they really cared about, and then voila, you create a problem. And then now they're on the oh, we got to do everything that the fans want, so that way we can get back into their good graces. So, like, for example, like the Deadpool and Wolverine doing Spider-Man No Way Home, doing doing all these collaborations and all of these moments where you're just like bringing other universes, go universes and fun things that the audience wanted. The Doctor Doom with Robert Downey Jr. That was a choice to bring back fans. But I'm not going to go too much into detail. Film theory does a wonderful job of explaining it, of why they decided to do it, because and mostly the only thing that you don't go into detail is that they're losing their market share with Universal. Universal right now has a bigger market share than Disney. And while Disney is tanking in the stock market, Universal is actually going up in the stock market. I'm in my 20s. Like it's like How to Train Your Dragon in modern times again. Yeah. The thing is that like they made a lot of gambles that were correct. That Disney, instead of making risky decisions, is on the catch up. They did it. That's what happened with How to Train Your Dragon is a wonderful example. How to Train Your Dragon caused Disney to get rid of their 2D style, because How to Train Your Dragon made money, and then Disney was not making money from the same princess films anymore. They didn't make that money. They weren't making the, millions upon millions of dollars type money that How to Train Your Dragon made. And so in an effort to, one, streamline production to make it a little easier to get movies out quicker, and to also not have to pay so many salaries, they did a product test, in a sense. They did A/B testing. You have Princess and the Frog and Tangled. Princess and the Frog, they did it in 2D style, and they put it out roughly before Tangled, I believe. Like a year or two before Tangled. They put it out. They got, the regular amount of money that Disney got. It didn't underperform, but it's not the amount of Disney money that they wanted. Then they did Tangled, and they used things that were from the style of How to Train Your Dragon. You're doing complex fill-ins. You're not doing the princesses are not really princessing too much. The princess has to be an active protagonist, cannot be passive anymore. Also, on top of that, the princesses don't have to fall in love with the love interests like right away. And obviously 3D style, right? They made Tangled to catch up, and then Tangled made a lot of money. But because Tangled made a lot of money, then they got rid of their whole 2D animation department. And then that caused a problem down the road. Because instead of keeping the 2D animation department and just revitalizing it, and also try to get on the level of Studio Ghibli, they got rid of it. And so when a movie like Wish comes out, and they're wanting to reminisce about the old style of Disney, but then no longer have a 2D animation department, and they don't have the amount of money to bring that back, or the real estate to bring that back, that creates a problem. They don't have the resources anymore. So then Wish does not so great, because it doesn't look as great, because they're trying to do a 2D style in a 3D style. While Universal is still ahead of the front. Same thing with their butterbeer. After Universal put out butterbeer and it was super commercially successful, Disney tried to put out a LeFou brew that did not go well, and then try to put out blue and green milk. But because those weren't movie significant enough, like, you know, when you get butterbeer from Harry Potter, that's because you watched Harry Potter go and drink butterbeer, and you got to see it throughout the movies. It was a common drink, whereas so it made you like long for it. Whereas you can't really do that with the blue and green milk, because basically, one, they tried with the Mandalorian, didn't really go well, and then the animal that it supposedly comes from looks kind of not great. So you're like, I don't want that image of someone milking this thing, for blue milk. You don't want the image in your mind. So they've always been behind Universal, and they're even behind right now. Universal's coming out with Epic Universe, and Disney has to play catch up, because instead of going and doing construction while 2020 was happening, they stopped. Universal continued, and not only continued, worked day and night. Epic Universe is built with a night crew and a day crew, so they could speed up production. Universal is able to get new attractions, new additions to the park, if it's an existing park, done within 6 months. Disney, it takes them 3 years. That's how bad that they have it. Disney took 5 years for Tron. Yes, Disney made a lot of questionable choices, and they refuse to be ahead of the curve. When the irony is, the whole point of Disney when it was created was to be innovative, and yet they're letting their competitor be the innovative one. And it's saddening to watch, because you're like, you're just like, they have the ability to keep up, but they refuse to do it. They refuse to put in the extra effort. And Universal is trying like Sony to go and get a hold of the Ghibli films. Because if they can get a hold of the Ghibli films, they got a big portion. They can market the Ghibli films to then take the younger generation's demographic and the nostalgia generation's demographic. Because I can tell you, Ghibli films still hit. I showed my younger siblings, specifically the 4-year-old, Ponyo. What is a good example? When I showed him Ponyo, he liked that one more than The Little Mermaid. I'm not kidding. You could see him watching it. Yes, they still kick ass. But imagine if they got into the hands of Universal. If they got in the hands of Universal, Disney's fucked. Because Universal's already playing with that idea of bringing anime to Epic Universe as an addition, because of how Nintendo Land is going. And it's not like anime would be new to Universal, because Universal has Tokyo Sea and Japanese Universal, Universal Japan, and those two have anime attractions. They have the Demon Slayer ride, the Attack on Titan ride, the MHA ride. They have all the anime rides in Japan. So don't be mistaken. They would, in a heartbeat, move them over if they could. Because they know they could get that anime market share. And I could see that they could literally build an attraction and they can literally put it up and then change it out if it doesn't work out. Where Disney can't waste that money. Unfortunately. That's the problem that they have right now. They can't compete with Universal. And you want them to, but unfortunately they won't. But that's the thing about Disney. I study Disney and I study Universal. I especially like watching the construction footage of Epic Universe because it's like super cool. The land that makes me like, oh my gosh, I wish I could go there is Dark Universe. I want to go so fucking badly. Like, I want to go and just go to all the flaming things. I want to go on the ride that's on fire. I want to go to the ride where I'm going to get eaten by vampires. I want to go to the restaurant where it's on fire the entire time. You know, I'm that person. You know, I want a year-round Halloween Horror Nights. If I could. I would love a year-round Halloween Horror Nights. Because that would be amazing. And the great thing is, they're building that in Vegas. And they're going for also Disney's market share in the UK because they're also building a attraction on in the UK's land. Yeah, good films are rare because a lot of them they're worried about IP. The reason why they'll so easily will slap an IP on anything and everything is that you're guaranteeing butts and seats. That's literally what it comes down to. If they can guarantee their money, they will. I'm dead serious. Because the issue that they have is that they wait. Yes, they're building it on 3 fronts. One in Vegas, one in Orlando, and one in the UK. Not kidding. They are trying to take Disney's market share because those are meant to compete with Disneyland Paris, with the Magic Kingdom, and with the Anaheim location. That's the whole point. Disney can't get into Vegas, and Universal is taking that opportunity to get a Universal because they know if you could get a Universal in Vegas and Disney can't get there, that's millions upon billions of dollars that they will make. So that way they can make money. So, like, because Vegas hasn't had a theme park really in any theme park rides for a long time. The closest they have is like, I think Circus Circus, or like, I think Planet Hollywood. It's one of the other hotels that has like an indoor amusement park ride, but nothing on the level of like a Disney or a Universal has come out to Las Vegas. So imagine when they bring Halloween Horror Nights, the theme park, to Vegas. The amount of adults that will flock to Vegas and and the ones that are already in Vegas. They know their audience. They definitely know their audience. And they are I wouldn't be surprised if like after they go and build all these attractions, they go and build one in Shanghai just to compete with Disney over there with the Hong Kong one and the Shanghai one. I would not be surprised. Cuz like Universal got the money now. They got the money, they got the pocketbook, they're able to make money on it, and the one thing that I think they aren't capitalizing on that I think they should capitalize on more is that I feel they need to make Halloween Horror Nights bigger. Like, of course, it's getting like its own theme park, right? But I feel like it needs a more of a presence in a sense. Like they have this whole cast of characters, and also they're all unique to Halloween Horror Nights. Like you have Jack, you have Chance, you have the curator, you have the ballerina, the usher, the director, the I'm forgetting a couple, but you get the point. They have so many unique and original characters that it's surprising that they don't capitalize on the goth market. Like they'd only do it one time a year. Like they do it one time a year, and yes, they do have like a Halloween store in like Islands of Adventure in Orlando, but I feel like like you could sell this shit year round. There are people that will pay money for the old ones, for the old designs, or like a generic one that they always put out. Right? Like they need to do more with Halloween Horror Nights, and I feel like it just needs to become more of a thing than what it is right now. And Disney, like, it's got its thing, but its big issue is that it can't separate itself from its kid atmosphere. Like, not to say that it needs an adult park, but it kind of its parks need to become more of like the whole family can go. Right now Universal has that branding now of you could take the whole family. I know, right? Like I'm just surprised by like the missed opportunities that just Disney just continues to miss every single time. And you're just like, why don't you get your stuff together so you can get more people to come in? Like, just come up with new stuff. Don't don't rely on butts and seats. Like Universal has Blumhouse, and Blumhouse, sure, some of the things are like based on like existing like public domain, but at least they're doing something with it. You know, we get Smile, we get like Megan, we get like now there's an AI one. Um, we get new horror films from them. Disney, we don't get really many new films. Like Disney's quota for new films is, I believe, 4. 4 a year. Whereas Universal, I believe their quota is like closer to like 20. Which is kind of annoying. So, if this has if this doesn't convince you that Disney needs to get off their butt and start working on some stuff, then I don't know what's gonna convince you. But yeah. And at least Amazon's doing something. Amazon has at least Twitch. Now, I do not like Netflix and their trending, their constant wanting to cancel stuff. Like, do you need to cancel things? You don't need to be canceling things. If you don't have the money to greenlight a show, it's okay to not, to not do the idea yet. You know? Like, I know it for some people it's like, oh yeah, it works on the filmmaker's point of view, because if you're someone that is a new filmmaker and you're trying to put out a project, getting on Netflix is a big deal. Because even though you got one season is enough for another studio to be like, oh, you at least got someone to look at your stuff. Yeah. Disney's got, like I said, Disney's got its issues. Netflix got its issues. It needs to stop. Either choose to not, like I said, choose to not greenlit some things and allow that money to go to shows where they actually were doing good. Like, there are too many shows that were doing good and they just decided, nope, we're not going to do them. Or, oh, we're just going to go and mess up the last season of the show. I'm still mad about Sabrina. I'm still mad. Like, maybe in the future I'll write an alternate version of what I thought the season should have been. Maybe one day. Because, like, that season, literally, the problem stemmed from season 3 and just continue onwards. It's just so bad. Like, for me, whenever I tell people, oh, they're like, oh, I really want to check out Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I tell them, stop at season 2. Don't just stop at season 2. Don't watch the rest of the seasons. Because season 1, season 2, you're good. You don't need to see them go to hell. You don't need to see it. And trust me, you will be thanking me. Because the choices on that show, I was like, you had a chance and you blew it. It's just like, ugh. And Amazon, it's trying its best. Like, it's trying to become like YouTube is, but for film festivals. If you guys don't know, they have a Sundance collection and a collection of like movies that people will send to Netflix that are clearly like B movie. I could even say C movies. C movies. And I do know these exist because, like you probably have figured out, my dad likes watching these movies on Amazon. He likes watching these C and B movies. That are basically they made a deal with Sundance and other film festivals to take any and all that gets submitted. Now, not all of them are winners. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, he does like watching brain rot. I'm not kidding. He also is the same dude that is like, I refuse to watch anime. Like, also. And also refuses to play any new games. He will not go past the Wii. He will not do the Switch. He will not go and do the Xbox. Not kidding. The Wii is where it ended. And his game is Wii Bowling. So, I tell you, my dad just loves those films. It could be worse. My sister likes reality shows. She's loved like Dance Moms and like watching these like really bad, like she hates the new season of Dance Moms because it's too empowering. Like she doesn't like that the lady doesn't like she's not mean to the kids and is just like trying to empower them. Like which is kind of hilarious. She liked um she loved watching the mean lady from Dance Moms just be mean to everybody and the parents being horrible to each other. My sister so that's where my sister and my dad have in common. They are just there for the brain rot. And I'm just there just watching it, just being like, why these choices? Because I have to watch it with the brain of a filmmaker, and I could see everything that's wrong with it. Unfortunately, they cannot see that. They don't have my eyes. So, when your eyes are tuned to be a certain way as a filmmaker, you kind of feel a little weird when the stuff is like, ugh. You're just like, oh my gosh, I see all the terrible things that are happening here and why? Why? But yeah, I tell you. Jeez. Let's get into this. I've been stalling long enough. The students stand up and pack up their stuff. And you packs up his stuff and walks out the door. Out the door. And now we'll do the hallway. Okay. And then we're going to go and do scene editing. Interior hallway. Evening. Um, Students walk past Ryu um Ryu Light walks from the open door and towards Rio. Light walks beside Rio. Hey, what's wrong? Hey, no. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's going on? What's going on? Rio. It feels weird. Feels weird. Feels weird. Light. Feels weird. Um um the end the semester ending? Semester ending? The semester ending? I know some people are worried about college. Worried about call Ryu. No. 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 I wish it didn't happen like this. I wish it didn't happen. It didn't happen like this. Like this. Like this. Light. Sudo. Sudo. Buddy bully do. Sudo. He bullied you. He bullied you. Um. He harassed you. No. He messed with you. He was messing with you. With you. But you didn't have to. He didn't have to. He didn't have to die. I didn't want him to die. I didn't want him to die. Him to die. I just wished he got expelled or moved to another class. He didn't have to die. I didn't want him to die. I just wish he got expelled or moved to another class. Another class. But you must be relieved. Hey! The spleeting on there. Are you saying spelling? Are you trying to say spelling? Okay, I didn't want him to die. I just wish he got expelled or moved to another class. You should be relieved. You don't have to worry. Should be relieved. Relieved. You should be relieved. He won't mess with you anymore. He won't mess with you. Mess with you anymore. But he's gone. He's gone. And he's gone. And I wish for that. I wished and prayed for that. And for that. For that. That. He didn't have to die. He prayed for um I've wished and prayed for that. And something made it happen. That. And the made that happen. Made it happen. For yeah, the whole point of it is like this whole conversation is a misunderstanding, right? So when we start off with the first thing, Light's one confused by why he's like confused that Rio is sad. Yes. So he's confused why Rio's sad because he feels that Rio, because he was bullied by Sudu would steal his money, tease him, go in, like, mess with him. He feels like he should be happy. But, so basically, it starts out with him being like, okay, maybe he's sad about, like, the semester ending. Right? You know, there are people who are going to be leaving the cram school and stuff like that. And he's Rio's like, no, it's not the cram school. Obviously, I feel bad about Sudu, and Light can't understand why would you be sad about someone that was hurting you, and then he then says, I didn't want him to die. I just wish he got expelled. Now this is a moment where Light is like, wait, does he know I killed him? Does he know I killed him? Because that could mean two things. I didn't want him to die. Could mean, oh, I didn't want, it to happen like that. But also, it could be that he's saying that directly to Light, and Light's is like, it could be that possibility. So then Light is like trying to egg him on to get more information. It's like, you should be relieved. He won't mess with you anymore. And he's like, but he's gone. I wished and prayed for that, and the universe made it happen. And that's where then Light could have a sigh of relief, because he knows Rio doesn't know that he killed Sudu. So, let's go. And action. Let me see. This is 20. We're almost at the goal. So let's see. Light stops. And Rio keeps walking. Light Light lets out a sigh of relief. Relief. Let me put, see that over. Light is looking at Rio. There. So we made it to 252. Yes. He's okay. Then I'm gonna put it scene heading. Okay, scene heading. Oh, and I almost forgot. This has to be evening. 5 days. No, 4 days earlier. 4 days earlier. And then we're going to do interior. Light's bedroom day. 5 days later, but we're going to put 4 days later. Hmm. Light holds his head. Holds his head with his hand. his hand, and then let's see, tab, light. I still don't understand. Don't understand. Stand. Why Rio cries. Why Rio cries. I still don't understand why Rio cries. So, some humans don't like the idea of something's not being them, not being their fault, being their fault. So, never looked at it like that. Like that. Never looked at it like that. So you felt bad. So I feel like I think I'm gonna cut it off for here. I know where this scene's going, and we only have this page and the next page, and then I think that's the ending, and then I'll write the end credits imagery for the most part of what to expect from like the credits roll, right? Of like, oh, what are we watching while that's happening? So I think I'm gonna cut it off for here for this stream. Don't worry, I'm gonna take a break, and then I'm gonna come back for Save Your List. So I'll see you guys later. Adios. I should probably should I? You know what? I'm going to go and raid someone because I should probably do that. So just give me a sec. Let me go to one moment. Ay. I give up. There we go. And we're gonna stream manager. And then we're gonna read. And we're gonna go writing. Writers. And then see. Trying to see same category. I'm gonna raid you guys into Unknown Soul. They're another writer, and their stuff has like violence and mature themes and stuff like that. So I'm gonna send you guys to them. So have a wonderful day. Let's go and start the raid. Okay. Let's see. See. Please give them a lot of love, okay? Give them a lot of love for me. Another streamer. Just finished